The stream is live.
Oh yeah.
Hit go live.
Yeah, wait until it pops up over here, I think.
As soon as it's
Oh, that's
not doing it,
Mm-hmm.
well, do you want to just go to Facebook and
fair enough.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, and we are live. Tanner McDonald, Sewer Speed Shop,
Adam Kaki.
and we got Bill Alexander and Ashley Benesh from Driven Racing Oil on with us today. Gonna talk a little bit about some oils.
Yeah, let's do it. What's going on, guys?
Not much. How are you guys?
Good. How about you?
Oh, we're living the dream. I'm, like I said, happy to be on. It's been great following everything you guys are doing and watching it. And yeah, we could talk about oil, but before we do, I got to know. So, where are you at with the motor right now? That's where I'm at. Last I heard, you had to have what? You went with a flange crank instead of a wedge-mated crank, and then you didn't have a seal. Is that kind of where it left off?
Yeah. Well, we had the seal, and I just had it in my mind that we were building this wedge-mated motor, and so we're thrashing it together. And Tanner assembled the crank, dropped it in, and he was in the back setting something up. And I think he came walking back in the engine room, and my face was white. And I'm like, dude, we got problems. And he's like, what?
Problems.
And I'm like, no, we got problems. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of missed one major step, man.
It happens.
Yeah. So, but we got bailed out on that one pretty quick. And yeah. I mean, it only cost Tanner 18 hours of drive time and lack of sleep and so on and so forth. Yeah.
It made for a cool trip, though. Got to meet Mark Hambry a little bit more. We met him out in Ohio for the
cool.
drag day race. But
Yeah.
got to check out his shop. Really cool dirt drag stuff. And ended up putting this up. It worked.
Good people out there, man. Good people. And then, of course,
oh, yeah. And then I'm there, and JD Curry finds out I'm in town. He's like, you didn't call me? So then JD takes us out for dinner. And yeah,
that's right. He lives up there. That's right. Yeah.
Like 30 minutes from Mark's place.
Yeah, you better not drive in or through Ohio without giving JD a call. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great guys, man. Great guys. So yeah.
Well, thanks. I'll just say thanks for supporting us. I mean, like I said, the project is really cool. We were kind of just talking about it, to me, it's one of those things where it's like, you're sitting there and you're like, hey, it's 2,074 miles from here to the Ohio, so let's build a 2074 and let's try to get there. And like I said, that's really awesome. And like I said, win or lose, man, we're behind you, whatever you need and all that. So
yeah, we appreciate it, man. You guys are great.
It's exciting following y'all and seeing your progress and seeing everybody rooting for you and everything.
Yeah,
the progress is a little slow this week, but we're starting to pick up speed now. So
yeah, now through the weekend, we'll definitely a lot will be done.
Yeah.
I say we're going to be driving it Monday. He doesn't think until Wednesday, but we're the weekend's definitely is our strong suit. We definitely get a lot done there.
Yeah, we can really thrash and bang there. So yeah.
Well, as the oil guy, I'm gonna say, how much break-in am I getting before this thing goes?
I think you'll get at least 10 dyno
minutes.
Probably 10 dyno pulls.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's
We'll have
cool.
it on we'll have it on the dyno for probably about a day and a half. Morning, Jeff. How's it going? Great to see you. I think we'll have it on there for about a day and a half. Mm-hmm. We've got a bunch of tuning. We've got a bunch of different ideas, the different trims of how we're going to drive out, what we're going to race on, what fuels we're going to use, so on and so forth. So, and then what oils we're going to run on the way out there, what oils we're going to run at the track, we're trying to set up the tolerances on the engine so we can go back and forth. Obviously, at the track, we want to be on a nice lightweight oil, and
not the one you used in the.
No.
Do not use that on any part of this project.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Our tolerances are not quite that tight. So yeah. No XP1 in this engine. So
no. Thank you.
Yeah, which is actually funny. I guess we should cover that. So on the empty engine battle, we've been testing driven oil for probably 2-3 years.
Well, at least 4. When my son started junior drag racing, that was what the first time I bought driven was the 020 cart oil. I heard what's the best oil to grab, and that was when we started with it. Ran into some problems with my LS GTO with getting a little bit of a lifter tick, and switched to driven LS30, and lifter tick went away, and then after that we're like, okay, there's something behind this.
There's something. Let's start looking closer at this, and we did a lot of research, did a lot of spectrochemical analysis on it. And we're
I know your background. I know you got me.
We're like, this is pretty interesting here, actually, and so so when we built the competition engine for the MP engine battle, we basically spec'd our whole entire engine around that XP1 oil.
Awesome.
We knew that's what we were going to run, and so I mean, tight tolerances. I think we were talking the other day. I mean, we were below 1.5 thou on rod journals, and it was tight. So, but
no
it was
GB1 2050 in there.
Yeah, they wouldn't even turn over, probably, But
well, and that's like, so you guys know, or if people don't know much about driven, like we're. If you look in the banner, it says racing wheel, right? And that gives us this general term that, we purpose formulate for application, right? So, we make, our formulas are different for those super low vis products than they are, say, for a GP1 or a nitromethane 70 weight. And we stay within that as we formulate. And, like LS30, you mentioned LS30, that's one of my favorite oils that we make. And, we've had a lot of people say lifter tick and things like that with the LS platform. And, it's the way that we formulate that by using a really, really shear stable polymer, which I won't go crazy into this stuff, but that makes
we like that.
Okay. Well, I mean, so sometimes people will say, what's the difference? Well, you don't need a shear stable polymer like we use an LS30 in a Camry that you're daily driving, right? It's purpose formulated for that. And even, when we say LS30, it's a 530, and we kind of looked at the LS engine when, it was formulated. And for us, air-cooled VW, it's like, we're really back, and I'm involved. So like I told you guys earlier, I come from the 80s, right? I'm that old, right? And back then, my first car was a 64 Bug, and we drag raced and out in Sacramento and did all that. And I guess now that I'm the guy steering the ship, I was kind of like, I'm going back. Well, I told you, drag week. We were out on drag week, and there's all these air-cooled VWs there. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And so I got pulled back in, but then it made me look at our formulations that we have for air-cooled and what's specific to that. But the coolest thing about all that is, before you even get to me, is 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when, Lake Speed Jr. and Jake Raby were actually really involved in creating our formulations for use in air-cooled. So I just kind of got like a nice gift passed on to me that I can keep going with. And so we do have a pretty good, heritage, going back. And so we're just happy to be, back into air-cooled VW, talking about, we're doing a bunch of tech videos now that are specific, to air-cooled VWs and our oils and which one to use and when to use a synthetic. And even, even that, there's a lot, air-cooled VW, there's always a lot of voodoo, right? I mean, Prescott and I get in this all the time. And, can't use a synthetic, only use a 2050, only use a straight 30 weight. And so the fun thing is we're going to kind of go back and retest and reevaluate all that stuff from the 90s, which is where 80s, 90s, where some of that came from. And to prove that base oils and additives and everything today are different. You can't apply what happened then to now. So anyway,
I think oil technology moves probably about at the pace of actual technology. Our cell phone technology. It's fast. It's a fast-paced market.
It is.
And people need to understand that.
Absolutely.
I think you and I were talking about that. There's a lot of air-cooled guys that are diehard. It's got to be 20 weight. It's got to be 30 weight. It's got to be, this old dinosaur oil. Man, that stuff it's so passed up. It's just
It is.
yeah. What we have to work with now and what we can run now is just it's
State of the art.
yeah, it's leaps and bounds ahead of it, So
And
you know,
yeah, you're
something
right.
something else on the driven. Just tell everybody and we talked about this too. What's a semi-synthetic oil?
So semi-synthetic or a synthetic blend is a marketing term to me. If you look at our GP1, which is very popular, obviously in air-cooled VW, we're using a base oil cut to make that product that's really unique. But it's not synthetic. It's a Group 1. It's a mineral conventional, but it has it's got a natural polarity, and polarity means the molecule, it has an affinity for something, and in this case, it's metal, so it likes to stick on parts and in cylinder walls and things like that. But where the synthetic part comes in there is you can use a synthetic base oil as a really efficient way to cut the viscosity from a 2050 to a 1040 to a 520. So by doing that, you're using a synthetic portion, which then makes it a syn blend or semi-synthetic. Technically, a semi-synthetic 50%, right? Semi-finals, semi-truck, half. But when you do that, it does impart some qualities into the formulation that help it. It can raise the no volatility. It can make it easier to start. But that's why we were talking about that. But in that product line, the magic isn't the syn part of it. It's the actual mineral. And if you want to run a syn, you go over to DT50, which is a full synthetic, which is like same as our LS30 we were talking about. It's purpose built for that. So.
Yeah. So as far as the semi-synthetic being on the label, what are we talking percentage?
Well, if it always varies between the cuts, but it needs to be at least 50%.
Yeah.
For semi.
So I don't want people to see, semi-synthetic, be like, oh, I don't want synthetic in my air. I only run conventional oil in my air cooled because otherwise it's going to leak. It's going to do this. It has. Everybody calm down just a little bit. It has nothing to do
we have
with
something
that.
for everyone.
Yeah. And I mean, even if you're buying an oil now that does not say semi-syn on it, they are, in order to achieve the viscosity levels, there is a percentage of synthetic oil considered, synthetic.
Sure. So, I mean, it could be cut with synthetic oil just to make one of the raw materials.
Correct.
That's going into the blend. So
correct. Now, didn't they move like groups? So there's 5 groups of oil, right? Group 1, 2, 3. Didn't they move group 3 into a synthetic? Don't they consider group 3 a synthetic now, which is what most of the blending is used?
So group 1 is like your conventional mineral, your group 1. Group 2 is that product hydro treated. So it's, a lot of the impurities have been removed. Group 3 has been hydro treated, hydro cracked. It's actually gone through some molecular change. And that's the one that's mineral, but now is the synthetic. Group 4 is PAO, which means it's reacted. We're going the other way. And then group 5 is where you put everything else that doesn't fit, esters, things like that. So So, synthetics can be PAO or, group 4, or they can be a group 3, And that just means they're so highly refined that their performance level is the same as the PAO, which is kind of your original synthetic, right? In motor oil from back in the day.
Yeah. Super, super cool. That's interesting. I hope people actually think that's interesting. This is the lifeblood. This is the lifeblood of your engine. Like, I mean, this isn't like back in the day where there were certain names that we all knew that you just put, everybody was running diesel engine, and a lot of people are still like, diesel engine's the way to go. Well, as soon as that got API approved, they yanked everything out of it. So everything that used to be in this, high zinc diesel end, don't do that, people.
And that's a great point. So where did that come from? That became so back in 2000-ish, when they API changed it, and so they lowered the zinc content in motor oil, right? Roller cam fine. But anything flat tappet or high performance, because even in a roller, you still need to have some higher ZDP content. That's a whole other video. But remember, but what happened is they didn't change the diesel back then. So everybody said, okay, I'll run diesel oil and I have quote unquote high zinc oil, right? And it works. The problem with diesel engine oil in this type of application is also loaded in detergent, right? Because it's a diesel oil.
Right.
So ZDDP needs to here, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but I'll grab a cam. So ZDDP, it forms a phosphine glass on the actual part. So you're basically not wearing metal to metal. You're wearing ZDDP layer to ZDDP layer. It's sacrificial. Yeah, but detergent has the same job. So ZDDP is surface active. It's gonna go to the surface, but detergent wants to clean it off, if you want to think about it that way. Its job is also to protect the surface. So they compete for the same real estate, say on your cam or whatever. Yeah. And so when you may have a higher zinc oil in diesel, but you've also got a lot higher detergent. So some of that you're offsetting. And it's really fun to talk about that, because people always, well, do I need braking oil? What is braking oil? Well, braking oil is high zinc, high ZDP. You can see in the background there. There's actually a video I'm doing.
Exactly. I was looking back there.
Yeah, there's the molecule, just if you want to look at it. But
say that 5 times fast.
Yeah. But and you get, but like I said, I mean, so it's just one of those things where you don't want any detergent. So you build a brand new motor, right? You don't have a ZDDP layer on any of your parts yet. Braking oil is high in zinc, ZDP, and it's lower in detergent. So because we don't want the detergent competing with parts, and that's kind of one of the things behind braking oil. There's a lot more to it, but and I see that, like I go on the Samba and I read a lot of the oil posts on the Samba. I'm a sucker for it. I admit it. You're only a sucker on Facebook and everything, but
you're only a sucker if you take the bait.
If you take the bait, yeah. And I sit there at my keyboard, I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it.
No. 200, or maybe it's like 1,200 pages of what oil do I run in my air cooled, and I'm like, oh, let me help these people. Yeah. No, I'm not doing this. I'm not getting involved in this.
And at some point, the zinc level, all that's going to come into play, and it's like, that's kind of what we're going to do here with our videos and on Driven Air Cooled. We literally created a separate social media just for air cooled. And the reason we did that is to address that. But zinc is important, but then again, so is your viscosity, so is the base oil you're using, moly, other friction modifiers, they all work together. It's not just one thing. Right. And so I could make you a horrific oil if you want me to. That's just high zinc and put it on. And then people, oh, this is great. It's what I need. It's high zinc. Well, what about everything else? It's all about a balance, the chemistry working together. And that's really what we want to achieve and kind of try to teach people as we move forward. And like I said, have it specific to air cooled, because what's the other debate? Is it oil cooled or air cooled? I mean, you could have that debate all day long. I have my opinion on that as well, but I'm not going to open that up today. But it is a unique engine. It's unique in its lubrication needs, and it's worth us to take the time and explain why we want you to use a certain driven product in an air cooled engine, and what's it always based on? What are you doing with it?
Surely.
Right? Are you going to drive it across the country and drag race it? Are you drag and drive like, Prescott? We talk about this all the time. Or are you just building the car to go to a car show on Saturday? We got you covered from A to B, but we would probably change our recommendation based on how you're using the vehicle. So
surely. Yeah.
Yeah. And anybody can just give us a call. We always answer the phone. We like to keep the personal touch, and we pride ourselves in being available to talk to folks. If they have a question, if they, wanted a recommendation or just want to talk oil, they can call us. Well, one of our guys get on the phone, mostly him.
Yeah.
He can speak oil and let them know, here's my application. Here's what I plan on doing. He can talk them through it. Okay, this will be better for this application. Whereas if you were doing this, you might want to use this oil. And, no question is a stupid question. Just call us, and we can answer. We'll be happy to talk for an hour, if you want to. Yeah. But just until you're comfortable with, okay, I think this is the best oil, and let them know what,
Yeah, we've been nothing but impressed with the customer service you guys offer over there. And,
especially out in California when we were struggling to find driven out here. We have it all around by us, and we never thought twice to bring extra out there. We're like, oh yeah, we'll find it out there.
We'll just grab it when we're out there. It's less to carry.
It was a struggle, and we called you guys up, and you guys were able to locate warehouse, who sold it, and everything like that. We were able to find it.
We'll find you some oil.
Oh,
right?
sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
we got it,
and we got it. We got it handled. We didn't have a wholesale account, but we said, tell you what, we're not leaving until we have oil in our hands. So figure it out.
Yeah. We figured it out, right?
And they figured it out. Yeah, we left with oil in hand, and it worked out great. So
we're setting up more and more dealers out in California, Oregon, Washington. We want we want to make our oil available for the the guys out there on the West Coast and the ladies.
It's gonna change quickly. I think. I don't think anybody's gonna have a problem finding this out on the West Coast here pretty soon. I've been hearing some grumbles from some pretty big names that they have some serious interest in it. So
that's awesome. And like I said, that's the thing. Even about Ashley is, you can have the greatest oil in the world, okay, and I can do all this formulation, use all these big words, and that's great. But we do believe in customer service, like. I've always said I want Driven big to get big enough that we can do cool stuff, but small enough that when we go to an event, a show, a track, and it doesn't matter if it's air-cooled VWs or hot rods or
Burnouts.
Pro mods or the Australian burnout guys we have now.
Okay.
I mean, when we walk through, we want people to go, oh, there they are. And no, you can,
and you can approach us.
Yeah. I mean,
we'll talk.
we don't have voicemail.
No, we answer the phone.
You pick it up, you call, and whoever answers the phone over there has worked in the performance industry a long time, builds engines, races. I mean, they're going to be somebody that you can talk to. And like I said, we would way rather that you call us. I mean, we want to know what you're doing. I mean, yesterday I got stuck on the phone with a guy trying to put a supercharger on a Honda Goldwing. At first I'm kind of sitting there going, okay. And then I'm like, yeah, no, we could do this, and, whatever you're into, like I said, I don't even want a Goldwing, but this guy was like trying to do this. And I'm like, well, okay, I'm in now, and, which is no different than a project where like this with doing project 74. It's like, well, you're in, so we're in, so let's just try to make it work,
Yeah.
And we love hearing our, folks' stories, seeing pics of their builds and, their projects they're working on, and we'll share them on social and stuff because we're proud of them. We're excited for them.
Right.
We don't just focus on the winner of the race. We want every guy in his garage, the guy that's, building his first drag car, or, maybe he hasn't raced in 30 years and trying to get back into it, or, we're excited for him. It's fun. We're like, we're behind you, you can do this kind of thing.
That's super cool. That's really cool.
They know we're behind them.
Yep.
So that's what we always say is we're like every man in his garage, the guy who throws the bottle away. That's, everybody's important. They're important to us,
Yeah, exactly.
Every air-cooled guy out there knows Ashley. Everything. Like I just told her, I'm like, hey, go out there and try to just see, and next thing you know, on our social media, and people call. As a matter of fact, she got invited to the I didn't get invited, and she did. And then she's like, oh, I might go to in Medford, and I'm like, can I come? Like, you know what I mean? It's like all of a sudden I'm just the guy who talks about the oil, right? And I'm like, I want to go.
You can be my guest.
Yeah, really. But
the face of Driven is changing.
Yeah, it is.
And we're working all these events, and we're for everything from drag and drive to burnout competition, everything. We want to be there so people can feel free to comfortable to just approach us or ask questions. We could talk oil, talk about their build. We want to be available.
Exactly.
It is the biggest topic in probably all forms of motorsport. You've got some guys who are just diehard. This is what we've always ran. This is what we're going to run, so on and so forth. But there's so many people that are brand new getting into the hobby. And that's why that oil thread is the Samba oil thread is what it is, because a lot of people are opinionated on it. They don't speak from a ton of knowledge, but that's why it's great to see you guys out there and willing to talk to people. And, we've talked with Bill long enough. Like, He's not gonna blow smoke, and he's not gonna talk trash about what you're doing, what you're trying to do, what you're currently running now. I've never heard it once, and you're not going to pry it out of his mouth. But but he will tell you, what they are doing and the products that they're making and how they can benefit you. So that's awesome.
So are you guys, I got to ask, obviously you have a project in front of you right now. But I'd love to see, one of the things that I've fallen in love with the last couple of years of all things is drive and drag, right?
Yeah.
I love drive and drag. I mean,
getting huge.
The people are awesome. And the drive and drag VW community is incredible. It's growing. I mean, I forget how many did they have at Sick Week, like 12, 15 cars. Prescott, obviously, and Chuck Fry, they always run, Six Summer. Now I'm trying to push them to come. I'm trying to get all the guys like Clint Cox, all the Texas guys. Hey, you need to come race the guys from Florida. The guys in Florida are fast, what I mean? And, but it'd be really cool. I'd like to see you guys do one. I think when you're about to get a real good education and stuff like that. But
exactly.
I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but
they're trying to go 100, 200 miles a day. We're trying to knock down about 600-700 miles a day.
I know, yeah. Ultimate drive and drag, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah, we've talked about it. We've got
some bad ideas in the works.
Yeah, we've got bad ideas.
Okay, cool.
So we'll see how fast we can put them together for next year. But yeah.
I know, y'all proven that you're pretty quick.
Yeah.
As you have 12 days now? 11, 12 days left?
Yeah.
So what do you think the biggest challenge is now? So you're going to fire this thing up, you're going to leave, you're going to be pump gas all the way, right? So you got elevation changes. Did you ever come up with it? What did you do for compression ratio? Because you're running what, 92, it's 92.78, right?
92.78, yep.
Yeah.
And we just set up compression yesterday loosely because we don't have connecting rods here until today at some point in time. And but we set it up at 10.2.
Well, so you do go, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we were it's this guy.
Tanner.
I'm going like 9.2, 9.4, 9.5 max, and he's like that 10.5. Well, I'll compromise at 10.2. How about that?
Let's compromise.
Watch it.
Exactly.
So
pull timing out of it on the way out there.
You're gonna pull timing,
just low and slow. We're not in a race to get out there. Just low and slow and easy on it. But when we get there, we want to be sure that we're going to be able to run that 790 class.
Yeah, that's the other side of it. So
we don't want to show up and have to run 890 class, and I don't think we'll have to. So we've got, I don't know, there's got to be a nitrous kit on Marketplace in Medford, Oregon, if needed. You know what I mean? If we get out there on Friday and we test and tune and it doesn't go so hot, I mean, we've got Saturday to find a nitrous kit and get it ready for Sunday. So.
There's got to be somebody out there.
Exactly. Yep. So it'll be interesting. It will be.
It will be fun. Well, we'll be watching you. I mean, anything you guys need from us, just let us know. I mean,
much appreciated.
Like we said, we really appreciate you guys and what you're doing for the Volkswagen community. Like really, the focus that you're putting on the Volkswagen community is huge, man. It really is, and this is such a tight-knit group of people. That's the crazy part, but I guess every form of motorsports is tight, but the VW world is really a tight world, and it's huge, and still everybody seems to know everybody, and Clint Cox is on here. It's great to see.
Oh, we're not taking questions from the audience or anything like that, are we?
Don't put us on the spot.
No, Clint, I don't want to answer any Clint's questions.
No, Clint.
He's going to be asking way too difficult questions.
Pop up now.
Oh, Prescott,
I have one. Yeah, Clint has one of these shirts as well.
Oh, yeah.
It shows up backwards. You guys are the right ways. Yeah, we got to flip ourselves.
You guys are backwards. Yeah,
these are super comfortable.
Yeah, the driven shirts. Nice job, guys.
Ooh, I picked these out. That's me.
Nice work, dude.
Yeah, I was really excited about that because I kept saying,
I like it. Yeah.
If you're going to give somebody a shirt to wear at races and all that stuff, make sure it's comfortable. Because if
It's
it's not
gotta be
comfortable
comfortable.
and it's not kind of light, they're not going to wear it.
Exactly. It's got to be cool, and this thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
Especially black t-shirts, because all car guys. We were just even talking about that. We were at Roadkill, and
He
we're
said,
always
look how many
doing
people
events.
are in black shirts. I looked across, and like 95% of the people are in
That's
black shirts. Okay,
you're
right.
Black t-shirts and black shorts. That is the car guy dress code. And I'm like, let's not try to change the fashion end of high performance. Let's just go with what works. You know?
It's going to turn into a grease rag at some point in time, throughout the day. And you still look proper enough to go to dinner at night after you've used it as a grease rag.
They have grease very well.
Exactly. So,
the Team Driven is kind of our sponsorship program. We have about 50, we got
60 now.
60 folks, different racers, and we like to follow them and talk about them on social media and stuff, and kind of what they're doing, their latest events, their wins, or any upgrades, modifications they're working on. It's exciting. We like to follow it, and we like to share it with everybody too, because we're excited for them. When you're working on something, you're excited, you're pumped. We're excited for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
People always ask, like, how do I get in on that and stuff? And we do it a little different now. We find you. Well, Ashley finds you generally, but if you're using our oil and you do a post, right? I use Driven or whatever. Now she's going to find, and then we watch you, and you could just be a guy in your garage.
Yeah.
Or you could be somebody, some of our other people, right?
One car, 20 cars. Yeah.
We don't care. If it's about what are you doing? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to build? And when somebody supports us, like when we see a post from somebody we don't know, like, hey, I'm using this Driven, it's the best stuff ever. For us, that's huge. We're like, find that guy, get him something. You know what I mean? Let him know we're
what else can we help you with? What else you need?
You got to live in a world where you take time every once in a while to say thank you. Without people buying our products, this wouldn't be here, and that part's real important. So we kind of changed the whole Team Driven sponsorship thing to find the people out there that are really supporting us, and let's do what we can to support them back. And
it's help each other out.
Yeah. It's hard because you can't support everybody. We want to, everybody, you know what I mean? But but we try to find those people. When we find you, then we'll try to put you on. But we get all these letters and emails and social media all the time. Hey, I want you to sponsor me. I want this and want that. We're like,
Yeah.
So we don't use your oil, but please.
We don't use your oil, but will you sponsor us? No.
Right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you got to make money too, right? So
that helps keep the lights on. Yeah.
And most people understand that. Like I said, it goes back to big enough to do cool stuff, but small enough that still everyone knows us, and
we know that,
and we know that, and we know
all of the Team Driven people. We know them. We know their wives' names. We know what they drive. We like to get to know them and kind of get more involved.
Yeah.
So we can work together more and kind of promote each other.
You don't see that with a lot of oil companies.
Right. And that's why we're trying to.
You don't
customer service and give them the personal touch, because we do care about them. We do. We are interested. Like, honestly, we are interested. We like to see this stuff.
Yeah.
So we want to hear their story. I started this 20 years ago, and I just now finished it. We're like, that's awesome. Show us some pics. And they'll share pics and the story, and we like to brag on them. Because it's exciting.
Yeah. Very cool, guys. Very cool. Clint said he wasn't going to ask any questions.
Thank you, Clint.
And we won't tell you no lies.
That's right.
But then he just asked a question. He said, what do we have to do to get Seward Speed Shop down to Texas versus the world?
We talked about that.
We're gonna need some minions at the shop to come in and get our work done for us so we can leave.
Yeah.
We need a few more hands over here, and then maybe we can get out of here. We'll be back for about a week, and then
barbecue bribery.
All
right.
That works. Food. We may see y'all after all.
We'll definitely be there. We're going down, with whatever, and honestly, I can't wait.
It's gonna be a great event.
Yeah, you guys are the king sponsors of this, aren't you?
We are.
Mm-hmm.
The funny, how that started is, okay, so you have to remember at heart, I'm an air-cooled VW guy and an Oldsmobile guy, surrounded by a company that's big LSs, big pro mods, whatever. And, I'm the guy building Oldsmobiles and air-cooled VWs. But I answered the phone, I think it was 2-3 years ago, and it was Clint. And he's like, well, you probably don't care anything about air-cooled VWs, but, could you guys help me out? I put on this race. I'm like, heck yeah. I'm like, dude, I'm one of you. I'm one of you.
That got his attention for sure.
Like,
that was not what he was expecting to hear.
Yeah. And at that time, I had been here like a week or 2 weeks, or whatever. So I think I sent like 4. I'm like, I'll send a few cases of oil. You give them to the guys that win. And then the next year we did a little more. And then now, like I said, I guess since I'm the guy steering the ship or whatever, I was like, kind of like, all right, we're in, and so it goes back to the whole team driven thing. Clint was like really supporting us way more than we were supporting him. And so then you turn around and you go, hey, I gotta help him. I gotta not help him, but go back and do more as we get bigger and we grow. And these people that have helped us, you have to give back.
Clint does so much for the VW world. He's very involved.
He is super active, super active.
Yeah, and he helps. With everything. Whatever you need, I'm here, kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like I said, being involved in every kind of racing you could think of. Like right now, is the big tractor pulls, right? So half of us are going there. Every weekend, there's something we need to be at. And so last year, I think the Texas versus the World fell. We had like LS Fest. We had like
Triple Crown.
We have all these different, we're already committed. And so this year I was able to, but then when the season ends and we come back around, then we can organize. And so, I'm stoked about getting out there for the first time to hang out with, with all those guys. So, yeah.
You see the Ladybugs race and stuff. That's fun. That's exciting.
And I'm guilty of this whole Florida. So like I'm friends with all guys in Florida, right? The Dragon Drive guys, and they're fast. And I'm always like, I mess with Clint. I'll be like, hopefully the Florida guys don't show up to Texas. And the Florida guys, and
it's fun to see the competition. They're like, bring it on.
Yeah.
I'm going to take you down. Great.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's
from the Midwest to the East Coast, West Coast.
South. Yeah. Everybody's got their area codes. You know what I mean? So
there's some stiff competition, a lot of trash talking, but somehow when everybody gets together, it all kind of goes away,
It'd be awesome.
We're going to help each other out, working on the cars. There's going to be trash talking till then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Greg Decker just told us, he said it's only 1,000 miles from Rockford to Ferris. So that's half of.
Yeah, there you go.
That's half the distance of Medford. The only problem is it's probably 107 degrees in Ferris, Texas.
Yeah, next level hot, right?
Yeah.
You could test your I was watching the cooler, the coil and everything. I am like dying to see how that works.
We are too.
Yeah, right. It's
too.
Either going to work or you're just going to need it to brew Ashley's sweet tea that she makes every day. You know what I mean? But it'll be cool. It'll be definitely cool to see like how that all works out.
Yeah. We don't recommend cutting holes in the back of your car and the side of your car and mounting motorcycle gas tank air signs on the side.
But how innovative is that, right?
If it helps us get around the U.S., we'll do it.
It's original.
It's definitely original.
Sure.
Move air transfer is important.
Right?
Exactly. Well, awesome, guys. I think we covered everything. We don't want to go too terribly long. Everybody needs to get some work done. So hey, that stuff. So, but hey, we really appreciate what you guys are doing for us, and let us know if we can do anything more for you. And
Well, we appreciate you having us on here and getting to visit a little bit and tell a little bit what we do and kind of what our work's about and everything. So
I'm excited to do it again. And Bill, we'll get into let's get technical.
Yeah, well, you know what we need to do? I'll come up and we'll shoot a tech video up there. I'm going to be going out to engine builders and doing this over the next year. So what we learned from your trip is, and actually we need to do some oil analysis too. So I'm going to send you, let's do some oil analysis when you get back. And
awesome.
See, and then maybe we can turn that into an after show kind of thing. Like, all right, so based on what happened, this is what we found, right? Or something.
Oh, yeah. This would be the ultimate. Really cool. This would be the ultimate test, to do the analysis on. So
Yep.
All right.
We're in.
Some urine sample cups, and we'll fill them.
Yeah, exactly.
Just make
All
sure
right,
it's full.
Please do not send me an oil sample in a Gatorade bottle, right? with like green Gatorade on the top. Then I have to call you. Go. I will send you a bottle. Please don't do that.
We get them all.
Yeah.
We don't know why, but you have sugar in your oil.
Yeah. You're creating
rinse it
sugar.
good enough.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All
Thanks
right.
again.
Thank
Appreciate
you very much.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
We'll talk to y'all soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.